Doe man.
It's your boy Sweetlick, back with another exclusive Sweetlick Weekly. Today's special guest, Yas Washington.
Yeah.
And then she brought a friend with her, my man Terrance. I'm gonna let her, she ran for city council. I'm gonna let her, let y'all know why she ran for city council, what y'all can expect for, what y'all can, whatever y'all wanna hear about her. Without further ado, tell the people about yourself. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. So yeah, my name is Yas Washington. I'm running for city council here in Charlottesville, Virginia. Basically, I've worked on a couple of political campaigns, so being able to transition from being an activist to a politico to now a progressive politician. I'm looking to be able to build the city up from the shortfalls of COVID. Definitely it's affected us in a lot of ways. Unfortunately, it's definitely put a really big scope on public safety and public health.
Let's just take it back though. We want to jump straight into it.
Whoa.
You really jumped into it fast.
Oh, my bad.
First, just tell the people, let's tell people where you from
Cool.
And what made you want to start being a politician. Let's just start right there.
Dope. Okay. So I have grassroots to the city. I'm from Charlottesville, Virginia. I'm 23 years old. Basically what got me into politics is I have my company Rocket Science, which I use art as a medium or a core to be able to bring people together from different walks of life, which is already something that art tends to do anyways. A lot of people use their platforms, whether it's like artists of different, whether it's, they're a painter or, a singer, musician, whatever the case may be, a dancer. Even in theater, you'll find that people are using these forms of art to be able to be purposeful. So I decided to use that and blend the two together, where purpose and kind of like entertainment kind of like meets in the middle. And I noticed I was in a coffee shop kind of like doing a rant and everything.
Yeah.
And, talking about, building relationships with UVA and the community and everything. And and so basically the barista was like, yeah, well, you should introduce yourself to this lady. She's working for Jim Hensley for Commonwealth District Attorney for Albemarle County.
Who was that again? Say that one time.
So
what was the woman name?
Oh, Asher Smith. Yeah, so then I got connected to Jim Hensley, started working on his campaign and everything, and I'm like, yo, this is dope. This is which is actually why T is here, because T had ended up doing some catering for one of their events that Rocket Science was able to kind of like extend a hand and increase the turnout and everything. Yeah.
What's the name of your catering business though?
It's called Tasty Tea, I'm the caterer.
Yeah, the creator?
Yeah, it's the caterer and the creator, period.
Okay.
But I deliver delicious food, I cater, I'm just all around. So you gotta check me out.
All right, fast forward to now you're running for city council.
Yeah, so now I'm running for city council. So I'm kind of like an all-in person. I'll just dip my foot in. So I already knew once I got involved in politics from the political standpoint, I'm like, okay, obviously I'm gonna want to do more. So
before we jump like crazy, can you explain like city council, like how that works and how many seats there is and how many seats available for you to run?
Yeah, so cool. So
and what's your political party too? You might want to throw that in there too.
Yeah, I got you. So basically there's 5 people on city council. There's 3 councilors, and then you have the vice mayor and the mayor, and then there's the city manager who kind of works to make sure that everybody's kind of like doing their job, and he kind of like communicates. I guess say if something was to have to go to like state to be able to actually like be able to make an impact in the city, like he would kind of do that sort of thing, and then like doing like the overall activities of like hiring executive directors of different departments.
Like the budget and stuff and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So how many seats available right now for city council?
So there's 2 seats available right now. Other than myself, there's 3 other people running. They're Democrats, and I'm running as an independent. Basically, I previously the 2 candidates that I have worked for, they've both been Democrats. But also as well, I definitely believe I have like a plan that works for each and every resident of Charlottesville. And it's definitely one that you can look at and you can see, okay, there's a need for equity, there's a need for sustainability, and there's definitely a need for development to take place as well. So while we continue to find ourselves like held at this stagnant point due to just like a lot of like conservatism in Charlottesville, definitely, having someone young, we already like, innovation, we like seeing new things, so definitely being able to get the ball rolling, whether that's on the reconfiguration of the school or just like, new housing development, who knows, maybe a mall, right?
I think the mall out there done. I think those are taking the past, to be honest with you.
So what changes do you plan to make happen? Like, what are you gonna do different to make a greater Charlottesville?
Cool. So, aside from having to, address like what I was about to get into.
We can get into that too, though, but yeah.
Cool. It's public safety for sure. Definitely as we work to like reopen the city, making sure that, which we're all good to go and everything, but making sure that people are getting vaccinated. With the rollout of the different vaccines. Also,
So what's your view on that? What's your stand on that? You want everybody to get vaccinated?
Honestly, I think it's like.
Have you been vaccinated? That's just it.
Okay, so I'm actually kind of like waiting on mine for a little bit. I just haven't made time on my schedule. But T got vaccinated.
I've been vaccinated, and I got vaccinated. I took the first shot, the first dose, and then I took the second one, and I got sick both times. So I can't sit here and say that I would recommend anybody to do it or not.
I actually got both of mine. I actually had no problem with mine.
I had a problem with
both. But I've been back there for like 2 months now.
I was sick. I felt like the virus got into me. I was sick. I had to shake back.
So you said you wouldn't recommend it for anybody?
No.
So you said you would recommend it?
But I guess it's for different bodies,
Would you recommend the shot?
Well, I mean, honestly, I think that, building your immune system up through like your diet is also a different way to go about it. It's definitely increased the level of cleanliness. So, making sure you're like, hey, go to the bathroom,
I would
wash
recommend
your
it
hands.
just for like, I would recommend it for like safety, like, just due to the virus. Like, if it's like, but
I
other
just
than
recommend it for people, especially like, if you're around a lot of people like healthcare workers, teachers,
you should get it,
bus drivers, I guess even police, just people that really gonna be around a lot of people, I recommend it.
Yeah.
And that's probably one reason why I got
I think that's true. And well, I got mine due to travel reasons. Because, if I got to go across the seas a little bit, then I need to.
Yeah, but I recommend it for a lot of people. I mean, it's just different stroke for different folks. But I mean, I didn't have no problems out of it. I was actually fine. But
I just think it's kind of scary, not knowing like what the results could be from it,
But I ain't really heard nobody that actually know what it really had. Like, other than being a little sick, a little tired, nothing crazy really happened to them. So
yeah,
I recommend it though.
I was like pretty much like sick, like I had the flu, like my whole body was hot, I couldn't get up and move. Like I'm telling you, I had to just keep taking medicine. Like I was.
But I was popping Advils. Like I ain't gonna lie, I was popping Advils. I ain't even gonna hold it. So I definitely popped me about 10 Advils. So.
Yeah. I feel like they made it really fast though too, in the same sense. Like stuff like that really takes time, but they're trying to like make sure that everybody's like, cause this is crazy.
Yeah, like, and honestly, like, it's not something that I put into my schedule. I'm still like not even like, but like other than like knocking on people's doors, making sure that it's at 6 feet, distance and stuff. But like, I've even had people like, hey, come in and we'll like, the whole house will sign, because I'm recollecting my signatures and everything. So, it just kind of depends, but, definitely making sure that, I'm a pescatarian, so my nutritional intake is really important. T and I probably would have been had it.
But you just mentioned them signatures. Can you explain that? Like, You said something about you had to get a certain amount of signatures to be like a Democrat, to be a part of the Democrat Party. Can you explain that?
Yeah, so basically you have to have about 125 signatures to be able to qualify as a Democrat, or to be able to like just qualify like for a party all in all.
And then it could be any type of people's signature?
So they have to be registered voters for the district that you're trying to like represent.
Okay.
So basically I have to have Charlottesville voters. So who knows, there might have been like a couple of Albemarle ones in there originally when I went to go turn them in.
Okay.
So definitely making sure that I'm going and getting those in. So that's pretty important. And then, you know, just knocking on doors and being able to engage with people. You know, it's a lot of different things going on in the community. Definitely, yes.
Whole lot of different
So when
things.
is the actual date that everyone gets to vote, like who they want to be, you know, on city council? You said it's like in like September?
No.
November.
So it's November 2.
I'm
So
so sorry.
you're good. It's the first week, the first Tuesday of November is going to be, I call it D-Day because, you know, you never know what's going to happen. It's definitely going to affect the overall direction of Charlottesville and the vision of council for the next couple of years. So ideally, being that I plan on getting elected, it's going to be a 4-year
You
term.
gotta do it.
Yes.
You make a difference. You got to make a difference.
So what do you think your chances are right now of actually getting on the city council?
I'm actually feeling pretty confident about it. I was making a couple of phone calls, and I actually had someone tell me that they thought that I was one of the most qualified candidates to be running right now. So I was like, okay. And then, you know, so making sure that I'm staying true to my core, which is that I definitely want to enhance the quality of living in Charlottesville. I definitely want to be able to, again, address public health and safety. And the two ways that I see to be able to go about that is through, you know, ethical policing and eco-management. Because, you know, sometimes we, you know, while, you know, making sure that all the residents feel as though their safety is being maintained, and they feel as though they're in, you know, a comfortable environment where, you know, you're not going outside and kind of like nervous about what's going on. We like definitely don't live somewhere like New York, you know,
So
per
when you say
se.
safety, so when you say public safety, like can you break that down a little bit more and let me know what you mean by public safety? Like what are you trying to do? Like what are you trying to do?
Yeah,
Public
so
safety.
definitely making sure that we're building relationships so far as like law enforcement and the residents go,
Yeah.
so that you don't feel as though there's this awkward tension. You know, making sure that we can have different types of trainings, being able to break that stigma of racial profiling, because I think that it kind of causes like this really unnecessary tension when police officers are engaging with, you know, Black Americans or whatever the case may be, and it causes like this, you know, unnecessary, you know, it's kind of like they're already like policing with a blind
That's
eye.
gonna be
I
kind of
guess
hard
I'll
to
say.
break though.
Or with not with a blind eye, a biased one.
Yeah.
That's gonna be kind of hard to break. Like that's gonna be like a really tough tactic to break due to the things that have occurred.
Yeah.
In the world, that's gonna be a hard tactic to break.
Definitely.
That definitely will
That
like
is, to break that one, that's gonna be hard because all this stuff that just happened with George Floyd, that was a lot.
yeah.
But what's your take on Charlottesville right now as a whole? Like, what do you see like in Charlottesville? Like, what's your take? Like, if you was telling somebody to come to Charlottesville, what would be your take right now?
Wow. So, you know, definitely, you know, been working to redress the image of Charlottesville, because like,
That stigma of this 12 definitely still sting, man. I ain't gonna lie.
oh yeah, some people just don't even want to come here,
Yeah.
like, at all. Like,
Do you know how bad it is? But do you know like how bad it is? Like, because you know I travel a lot. Like I'm always somewhere like in a different state, city. And do you know like the people I've met and like I've encountered have been like, oh, you're from Charlottesville?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'm from Charlottesville. They're like, oh, you're from the place where all that stuff happening, right? I'm like,
right.
like I've had a lot of people say that to me, and like I really didn't even have an answer. I'm like, yeah, like I don't know what else to say. It's
Definitely.
So
So,
it was like bad. Like we gotta tighten up.
Yeah, so what's the state of the culture of Charlottesville right now?
Definitely making sure that, one thing for sure is making sure that, low income individuals, one thing that I would like to do is to be able to provide equity without a doubt so that, who knows, 10 plus years from now, we won't have to closely link black people with low income. Because the two are kind of like something that goes hand in hand.
Yeah, I think it's like everywhere, like in America, like black people and I guess white people, like the gap is so big. How can we definitely need to fix that gap between black and white.
I agree too, because I think it's just like terrible. Like everybody thinks like, if they see a black person, oh, low income. Like not everybody is low income, and then some people, that's just some people's situation, And I feel like people shouldn't be judged on whatever because we all here,
Right.
I think education is a big thing for black people too. We really got to get educated more.
Yes.
Like from school to
a lot of stuff.
how to act in public, to
yes,
how to speak in public, how to manage our money.
It's a lot of things.
There's a lot of things black people need to work on though, for real. What do you feel that black people need to work on though?
And definitely, I know one thing without a doubt is definitely the quality of education. Definitely making sure that we're building up the inner city schools to be more rigorous, making sure that the quality of education is kind of altered through the curriculum, where it's pushing them to, think more, and it's not just, having teachers clap for like mediocrity.
Yeah,
is one way to definitely change that.
Not just pat kids on the back just for coming to class, but actually learning something.
And you can learn a lot from a classroom, a child or adolescent's attendance and all of that.
Yeah.
You can kind of gauge what's going on in their environment almost too, and you can catch a lot of things, and that's where different resources and programs can kind of extend a hand and help.
I feel like
those
the school
students.
system. I'm in the country. I'm sorry.
No,
I feel like the school system is like very different now too as well, because like when I was growing up, like they really had us like engaging in a lot of activities. We were outside, we were doing different things like growing up, and it was just like now, like if I ask a child, do you like school? The first thing they're gonna say is no. Most kids say no, and it's like sad because I liked school when I was growing up. It was fun to me.
I think the main part of the show for area. I think we just need more we need more black teachers and principals
and people who's actually gonna educate.
Yeah, we need more people that look like us out here though, honestly.
Yeah, like
we need like Mike even on city council. We need more black people on city council.
Yeah.
Even though it's like 5 seats, but we need more people like us, like really motivating us, I think, to really do better though, honestly.
Cause I feel like they showing a lot of stuff, and I feel like they just give the base. Like y'all need to really be telling these kids like what's going on in this world, like really educate them, like you said, educate them.
Right.
They need to know what's going on. Like I feel like they just do things in like a roundabout way down to school systems, and like the kids aren't really learning. Like they need to be learning.
Right, definitely.
Like, it's very important in this day and era. It's very important.
I agree. And so basically on my, in my positions, I had addressed, the contingency learning plan and making sure that, it was a little rocky at the beginning of the pandemic with transitioning to this hybrid model of virtual learning.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So
I'm kind of never trying to get out of it now, though, but yeah.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of stuff is starting to like slowly come back together, but it's just not there just yet.
But I think as a whole, not just the kids, I think the parents need to be educated too. Like some parents need to be educated how to even educate their own kids. So they need a little training on what they need to do. You know what I'm saying? And really be in the kids' life.
And that works really great with being able to support different programs that are going to help low income individuals build educating them, two, helping them build or obtain assets, and then also two, helping them become more self-sufficient is really important. And also too, with the redevelopment taking place in South First Street. Hold on, it's a spin out, but it's one step in the right direction.
I'm laughing at Rico because he funny. Because he literally just saying, he just said everything. He just said, hold on, wait a second, it just came to me. He just said anything to educate the parents on basically how to be parents. That's what I'm saying.
I think because like as a whole, like,
that's funny.
like a teacher can't, like I was just being honest with you, like
it's true though.
A teacher
like,
can't just teach a kid. Like it takes like they say it take a village.
Yeah.
So like if your teacher teaching a kid and then a parent ain't doing nothing, that kid gonna be lost. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like I'm not even laughing at you. Like I'm just laughing.
But I think we need. It sounds funny though, but it's real serious though. That's a real serious issue. Like
yeah, like it's a lot of work that needs to be done.
Yeah.
And it definitely starts with educating people, and that's totally.
Some parents they still acting like their kids themselves. So you know what I mean?
I would say everything starts at home.
I definitely believe that. I definitely believe that.
It's a chain. Like if the parents don't know that the parents pass it down to the child, and the child is not gonna know. You know.
Right.
The only thing a child knows is what they see and what they've been around. So change your stigma, change everything. What they're around.
I agree.
And a child.
And I feel like before you see your child out like in the world or like just to school in general, like you gotta teach your kids manners and stuff like that. That goes a long way. Like, but it's like you said, starting the household first.
Cause I definitely grew up on manners. Like, definitely grew up on manners. You hold the door for somebody when coming in. You know, like it's small.
Or just small stuff like this, even speaking in the morning. You see somebody walk by saying good morning, like just
saying good morning, saying good afternoon, how you doing?
Yeah,
like,
just little things like that.
Excuse me, like it's manners. That's it.
Yeah, definitely, like, you know, with the different, you know, neighborhood hubs and everything like that, making sure that we're able to keep the crime rate relatively low and everything is also a really big one.
That's crazy you say that. We might be able to jump into that and talk about that. Since the pandemic, like the crime rate kind of shot up a little bit, Shaw. But what do you think about that, though?
And
well, I got a lot to say about that.
And for years, I'll start with a couple. Over the past couple of years, the population has increased, so we're now at 50,000 residents in Charlottesville. And so while crime isn't, you know, spread varsely all around the city and everything like that, definitely in these individual hubs, you find crime has started to take place. And
so you think it's due to population?
I don't think it has anything to do with population, but definitely, you know, it's, you know, in the, you know, public housing sites and everything, you know, or like low income, you know, communities within Charlottesville. So these individual areas where it's very, it's very inclusive within that area. And it's not, and, you know, making sure that, you know, I mean, honestly, not to be able to box the crime in to these specific areas, but making sure that, you know, whatever officials can do from their end, whether that's being able to implement or security in certain areas where, you know, it's kind of like that, you know, it's that eye there, it's that strong backing so that, you know, we don't have bullets flying all over the place and, you know, somebody shot at us.
I don't, maybe this is my opinion, but I think just with like, the job market ain't that good. It's really not, the resource not that good, and then with nothing to do, I think that's why people acting frisky in my eye. But Terrence, what's your take on that?
So two things about the pandemic. So I feel like with the pandemic, it brought a lot of talents out. Okay, I feel like the pandemic brought a lot of talents out. Like everyone started to engage into their craft, like what they're good at doing. For some people. And I think with the pandemic, that was a good part of this pandemic because people had no other choice but to get into, you know, what it is that they want to do.
Most definitely.
That was a good part. And then I think the bad part about it is it's also from like being bored, having to stay in the house, that people want to get into other things, like, you know, whether it be gun violence, whether it's fighting, just being into something because of the way that the world is now.
Right.
So it has its benefits and it has its downside too. A lot of people found their friends. Like,
but this is just the gun violence kind of. I don't mind like. I mean, it might not sound right, but fighting. I don't like fighting is kind of. Two men, like, you know what I'm saying, with that testosterone, might not be a bad idea for them to go outside and fight, but to taking the guns over a little situation, maybe over a couple of dollars, is really. Throwing your life away.
The bus squad now, which I think is a good thing too.
Y'all need to get them on the Sweetlick with too.
That's definitely
the bus squad, but they ain't the peace in the street. They started the peace in the street. But it's just like the nonsense, gun violence, shooting in the air, shooting at people, whatever. It's just kind of like a lot of nonsense. Like
it is.
we need to kind of get a little control of that. Like
Yeah, so
But then
you
it's
know,
like, how can you get control though too? How can you get control with the way that everyone feels about the police department, or they feel about the police, like like the racial profiling and things like this. Like, how can you get control? How can you gain control over the situation?
right? So
It's like,
with public
too
safety
confusing.
comes with public safety it comes like a really great thing when you have civilian organizations which say with the whole defund the police movement. Kind of to counteract that, which was pretty interesting.
So you believe in defunding the police?
Yeah, which was pretty interesting was that Charlottesville sort of kind of did it. They divested the Charlottesville Police Department by a little bit over $300,000 by getting rid. Which was pretty neat by getting rid of. By being able to get rid of two, I believe it was it's kind of like the police officers that are at the schools when or like the kind of like the cross guard thing or whatever the case is. One of those positions or two of those. And then, they kind of like, did some different things within that budget to be able to kind of like shift money to, shift or reallocate money to different avenues, which was really great. So, definitely while the police department actually, did lose a couple of dollars, when you're analyzing their overall budget of like a little bit over 14, I think million or something to that effect. So, that's like a couple of dollars compared to that. So, it's no sweat off of anybody's back. And being able to support, like Buck Squad and then, different programs where like really, if anything can be given to like social work, being able to give those dollars to, education on some level.
I think that's what it's still like. That's what I really believe. Like they really want to make a change in education and just they said raising your kids, man.
Yeah, you work in the school system, so I know you see everything firsthand.
Oh man, I don't even want to speak. That's another interview in itself. But education is definitely. I think that's the key for us to really, for Black people to start growing. Is just education, just educating ourselves, man, and really building that confidence. Like really, like resources too. That's what we really need as Black people. Like sometimes Black people feel like they can't. Their confidence low or something. They feel like they can't achieve this or that. But just educating ourselves, we can do better. That's what I think we really need,
But it's gonna take some people to really come together to really show that we can uplift one another in a time like this.
That's what we need, more Black people sticking together, really
so
coming together.
More people sticking together to show like, hey, we can do this. Like we can do this, and it's gonna be fine.
Yeah, and like having like myself,
call
around,
really do it and like step this up.
And definitely one thing for sure, between the fact that I'm already African American, I'm Black, and then aside from that, I'm 23. So making sure while I'm throwing my hat in the ring and I'm announcing that I'm running for city council, making sure that I know the facts. I'm very aware of what's going on in the city. And I know, what I would choose to like to be able to introduce, whether that's through different policies or whether that's through reform, which is like policies help to make changes happen in a very here we go, we got this, we have this agreement or we have this document, and pretty much this is kind of like a layout of how we would like to see change come about. But doing it from the standpoint of a politician as opposed to having to, be an activist and have to get out there and make your voice.
I'd rather do the activist part because I don't think I can do the politics. There's too much in the politics. But what's the date again so people don't forget? What's the voting date?
Yeah, so again, it's November 2. Make sure you're registered to vote. You can go on the Board of Elections website. I think you can also go on Charlottesville, I think it's .gov. And you can basically go on ahead and get all of that sorted. You have Tez down at the Fountain Fund helping people restore their rights.
Shout out my guy Tez, my God.
So where do people go to vote? Like where to vote for you? Where do they go?
So basically, there's a couple. It's about 6 to like 8.
I go to U-Haul.
Different precincts.
I go to U-Haul.
Do you? I see. Yeah, I go to Tonsler. So.
Okay.
You probably would go to Tonsler.
Tonsler.
Yeah.
So you haven't voted before?
Yeah, I voted for it. I know, like, don't do this again. No.
So I don't know. I mean, we can keep talking forever, but honestly, where can people reach out on social media though?
Yeah, so great. So I'm on Facebook at Yas Washington. You can email me at info@yaswashington.com. The back end of that is also my website. And then I'm also new to Twitter. I'm sure you can look my name up on there. Let's see, what else do we got? Instagram, Yin Yang Yas _.
You said Yin Yang Yas?
Yeah.
You gotta slow that down. You might spell that out. Yin Yang Yas.
Whoa. So you got the YN. Wait, hold on. So I had changed it. So I think it's YINYINYANG. Yes. Underscore.
We'll put it in the description.
Come on. Look, you know I make me do that. That was ugly.
And check me out on IG, taste _of TEE on IG if you want some of that good old soul food. So yeah. Oh, and Terrence Catering on Facebook.
Y'all know where to find me at, man. Sweetlick King on everything. I am Sweetlick on IG. King of Snapchat, Sweetlick King on, or actually I had to change my job, I forgot. It's Sweetlick _King now. Still the King of Snapchat, I had to make a new one. Still the King of Snapchat, y'all need to know. But get in contact with me, Sweetlick King or Gmail, email me, get in contact with me. Sweetlick Entertainment on Facebook, make sure you like the fan page.
Oh yeah, my phone number is 434-806-2196. Give me a call.
Oh my goodness.
So you deliver food everywhere you go?
Yeah, I deliver food. You can come pick up. I work at Trinity Episcopal Church, 1118 Preston Avenue.
Okay.
Great.
Charlottesville, Virginia. So y'all stay.
And they already know Doe's on the cam.
Yeah, shout out my man,
thing.
don't man behind the camera. That's my guy, my right hand man.
Camera, y'all know. Y'all know what's going on.
All right.
Vote for Yas, man, coming up November 2nd.
And that's a wrap.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
Doe Mary.